War. But it's not just about what you see in the sky or on the ground. Water too becomes a casualty. In war-torn areas, rivers and water sources are polluted, sometimes from destroyed infrastructure, other times from direct attacks on water facilities. And the results are devastating. In Gaza, drinking water is often contaminated. Meanwhile, in Syria, bombings have damaged irrigation systems, leading to drought and desertification.
And then there's the issue of fossil fuels. Many conflicts, especially in the Middle East, are driven by control over oil and gas resources. The Iran-Israel conflict isn't just about territorial control, it's about the resources buried beneath the land. Fossil fuels power military machines, and wars delay any transition to green energy. While nations are focused on war, the goal of renewable energy is pushed aside, and fossil fuels become even more entrenched.
And let's not forget, war is a huge polluter. In fact, the military itself is one of the world's biggest contributors to carbon emissions. Fighter jets, tanks, submarines, every military operation consumes vast amounts of fuel. For instance, US military emissions alone are comparable to entire small countries. And this isn't limited to just one conflict. Whether it's NATO forces in Eastern Europe or airstrikes in the Middle East, the carbon footprint of war is staggering.
It's not just about bombs, though. Conflicts displace millions of people. Refugees flee war zones seeking safety in neighboring regions. But this mass movement puts enormous pressure on the environment. Deforestation occurs as refugees cut down trees for shelter, and water sources are drained to meet the needs of overpopulated camps. This is happening right now in areas like Lebanon, Jordan, and Egypt, where refugee camps are struggling to manage their environmental impact. And the ripple effect continues. Displaced people often move into areas that are already struggling with environmental issues. Countries receiving refugees are forced to use more resources, exacerbating already fragile ecosystems. Take Lebanon, which is hosting Palestinian and Syrian refugees. It's facing severe water shortages and deforestation as a direct result of the refugee influx.
But the damage isn't confined to the countries directly involved in conflict. War disrupts global efforts to fight climate change. Take the war in Ukraine, for example. As the conflict rages on, Europe has been forced to rely on fossil fuels, even reopening coal plants to meet energy demands. Just when we were supposed to be moving toward renewable energy, these conflicts pull us backward.
So what can we do? The solution is clear. War must no longer be an option if we want to protect both people and the planet. The billions spent on weapons could instead be directed towards sustainability, green energy, and rebuilding damaged ecosystems. Imagine if instead of bombing forests, we replanted them. Instead of fighting for oil, we fought to harness wind and solar power. The path forward is peace and sustainability. Wars don't just end when treaties are signed. Their effects last for decades, even centuries. The land, water, and air bear the weight of every conflict, and it's future generations that will feel the long-term impact. We can't wait until the guns fall silent to start healing the planet. We need to act now.
It's time to demand more from our leaders. It's time to say no to war and yes to protecting the environment. Because when we fight for peace, we're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for the Earth too. Every step we take toward peace is a step toward a healthier, more sustainable planet.
War destroys more than lives. It destroys ecosystems, pollutes the air and water, and delays the fight against climate change. But by choosing peace, we have the chance to heal. Let's stop the destruction and start rebuilding. Our future and the future of the Earth depend on it. The environment isn't just a background casualty, it's at the very center of the fight for survival. War and environmental destruction are two sides of the same coin, and if we don't act now, both will push us to the point of no return. It's time to take action. Share this message, raise awareness, and demand that our leaders prioritize peace over conflict. Together, we can save the planet one step at a time.
Help spread the message. Hit like, share this video, and subscribe to Ecosphere for more insights on how we can work together to protect our environment. The fight for the planet starts with you.